Michael Olongo, AP broadcast and the Radio Pennsylvania Network. You talk about the way you guys just kind of closed out the fourth quarter. What was the key there? They made a run at you to go within 9 at the end of the third, but you guys just kind of took a different gear offensively and defensively.
Just get stops and making sure the ball was in his hands or mine, and that's what we did. He created. We knocked down some shots, a couple of great drives, and we also got stops.
Joel, you rocked the baby after scoring over Ibaka. You did a shoulder jiggle after hitting a three over Gasol. You did the airplane after having the windmill. I think some sort of pointing celebration after an and one on the baseline. What do all those things do for your overall kind of energy level or approach to the game when you're kind of letting yourself loose like that?
I think for everybody that knows me, I need it. When I have fun, my game just changes. I'm always told that if I don't smile during the game, I'm either having a bad game or I'm not into it. When I know that to get my game going, I gotta have fun on the court. At the same time, I gotta make plays, but that part of the theatrics, it has to happen for me. And the game is more fun that way. We all have fun as a team. You can see it lifts, my teammates, and we all do a good job.
Jimmy, this is Al Thompson from the Delaware Valley Radio Network. Toronto's coach was talking about he didn't think his team played hard enough tonight overall. Did you get a sense that there was something missing from them during the game tonight? There did seem to be a lack of intensity that they've shown, in previous games.
Maybe so. I do believe we played incredibly hard tonight, which is how we have to play at home or on the road. But I think more than anything, we enjoyed ourselves. Like he said, it was out there having fun. Obviously, it's fun to win. It's fun to make shots. But if we keep that energy up, I think we'll be fine.
Joe, right in front, Kai Carlin, Sixers Wire. You've had your struggle against Marc Gasol in your career. Tonight, 33, 10, and 5. What kind of message do you send to him and the rest of the Raptors that you're not going to have these same type of struggles offensively?
The great defensive team, the double and triple team a lot. It's a team defense. I'm not really focused on them. Great player, have a lot of respect for them, but it's a team game. If I'm open, my teammates are going to find me. And if they're open, I'm going to find them. So I'm not really worried about them. I'm more worried about my team, how we coexist on the court, how we play together. We know that we got to move the ball, we got to take out the ball, and defensively just, we got, a couple of guys on the team, that have a potential to be defensive player of the year. So that's what we got to do. And my job is just tonight, just get it moving.
Joe, obviously you're right on brand tonight with the process shirt. But for you and TJ, who have been here the longest, just kind of looking forward a little bit, what will Sunday mean for you guys who lived through the process and now you have a chance to take a 3-1 lead to go to Eastern Conference Finals?
This is not a good time to talk about the process. Focus on the playoffs, and we got a great opportunity up 2-1 on Sunday. We got to take care of business. It was great. It's great that we've been considering what we've been through all these years. We're here, but we got a lot more to give. We have a chance to accomplish something special, and that's what I'm focused on.
Jimmy, Tom LeMay, did you see something in the last game that you were able to expand on in this game? Practice? Did you pick up something you were able to pick up on in practice in tonight's game possible?
The way that they guard pick and rolls a lot. I think it's you have to be able to know where the big and where the guard is going to be. And we talked about getting big fella the ball and make him make a lot of plays. Obviously, he's a force to be reckoned with. You know, he's especially when he's making tray balls like he does, but then attacking the rim at the same time. I think that's how we got to play. You know, you get the ball to him, he's gonna score or make the right play. Same thing with myself. Same thing with Ben. You can go down the line, but all in all, we share the ball.
Brian Kabrowski from Woodside on the left over here. I was, I guess, on your left, my right. I was actually curious about pick and roll as well. The two of you have great chemistry in the pick and roll.
You're my right, by the way.
Yeah, I'm realizing now. Sorry about that. The two of you have great chemistry in the pick and roll. And I think, as the playoffs have gone on, you've shown, a really great efficiency at it. And I'm curious, right now, how much more fluid your game really is when the two of you have really been able to get more frequency with the pick and roll.
I think chemistry's a bad word. Like, everybody wants to say that because we played together however many games or didn't play together however many games. It's simple enough to know that whenever you have some good basketball players out there, the game happens. You make the right plays. You do what you're supposed to do with the basketball. And that's all it is. The game is really, really simple. I think at times we, as players, decide to make it hard. But if you're open, shoot. If you're not, pass.
This question is for both of you right here in the front. Sarah Todd, Philadelphia Inquirer. Jimmy, when you first got here...
How did you say my name and you said it for both of us?
Well, I'm going to ask kind of a different question.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy, when you first got here, there was a lot of talk, a lot of questions to you about whether or not you were going to be more aggressive or stop passing up on shots. When the latter part of the season and the playoffs showed up and you kept saying, when it matters, I'm going to be there. So what happens internally, or like that mental switch that goes? And then Joel, for you, do you see that? Like, have you noticed a huge difference in Jimmy, like playoff Jimmy versus regular season Jimmy?
Go ahead, Joe. Give me a compliment.
Obviously, he's a great player. I've noticed a difference. Playoff Jimmy, he's a different player. It doesn't matter, both playoff or regular season Jimmy. Both guys are the type of guys you want on the team. Because when it matters, when it's the last shot or the fourth quarter, you know that he's going to be there. He's going to show up no matter what he has going on. But, the way we've been adjusting and the way we've been playing together, I still feel like we have so much potential, especially with Tobias, Ben, JJ. Just like you said, chemistry is overrated. When you have, great basketball players on the floor, it's easy. It's not that complicated. And we all willing passers. We play we're so unselfish. We understand that it's all about moving the ball. We don't want to ever get in situations where, one guy has the ball and trying to create. We know that we got to move the ball, and it just makes it easier. I answered the good question. Next.
I just do what my teammates and what my coaches need for me to do. I try to find the line to keep everybody happy, to tell you the truth. I think if everybody's happy, everything runs smoothly, you win. And that's all it's about. It's not about being aggressive or not being aggressive. Whenever we lose and I'm not aggressive, y'all got something to say. But when we win and I'm not aggressive, it's nothing. So just win and nobody says anything about anything.
Jimmy, I'm here on your right.
Thank you.
Lauren Rosen, Sixers.com. I was wondering how nice it is for you to have Mike Scott back for you individually and for the whole team.
I love Mike. You see the handshake we do any and all times of the game. He's a great guy to have around. Super tough, like a guy that you want in your corner. He's not scared to take and make big shots. He can guard whoever you tell him to guard. And more than anything, he's always got a positive vibe, a positive energy that he's giving off every single day. Even whenever he's not playing, that's the hardest thing to do. And he's a real one, I'll tell you that.
I'll let either one of you answer it. This is Steve right here in the middle. Defensively, these last two games, it's different than what game one was. So I think after game one, Jimmy, you said we defended and therefore we won. So what happened so that the defense would be that much more aggressive, intense these last two?
We made adjustments. Pascal had a great first game, and the second game, this third game, we've been able to contain it. And Kawhi, you just got to make it as tough as you can defensively. Try to make it take as many contested shots. And Ben has been doing a good job. Guys that switch on him, they've been doing all a good job. And the West is all about rebounding. And we know that if we keep those two guys in check, we know that we have a great chance of winning.
Last one over here. Jimmy over here, Michael Green, Sportsnet in Toronto. Your bench, in theory, the Raptors bench was supposed to be maybe an edge, but your bench has outplayed them all 3 games. What can you say about the contributions you're getting from those guys?
They're comfortable. They're confident in the role that they play. I'm sure that the Raptors guys, they work on their game as much as anybody else does, but I see it every day with practice with our bench guys. And the whole thing is you just got to star in your role. You ask them to do anything, they never complain. They just go out there and do it. They've been huge for us. They will continue to be that for us. As we come into this one on Sunday, I want them being the same guys that they've been this entire series.
We've talked since we all met each other long ago. The playoffs, it's a different sport. It's a whole different kind of everything in general. And, Jimmy's focus, I think his leadership, attention to detail with the pieces, the integral pieces that we're trying to get done defensively stuff are heightened. And we need it all. We need it all. And it's appreciated and respected.
Kyle Newbeck, Philly Voice. Where do you start with that Joel Embiid performance? Like, where does your mind go first with everything that he did out there tonight?
For me, it goes straight to the blocks. We can talk about a windmill dunk. You can talk about some finesse post moves and that, but I go to defense. Like that's what interests me the most to date with this series. When we talk about whatever we're going to talk about, my mind goes straight there. He is our crown jewel defensively and I suppose offensively too, but certainly defensively. And his rim protection and blocking shot ability tonight stood out as much to me as anything in an incredible performance.
Brett, to follow up on Kyle's question, when Joel is right physically, do you feel like you have the best player in this series?
Yes.
Brett, over here, Brett. Rich Hoffman, The Athletic. You guys have not been a high pick and roll team during your tenure here. Seems like you've been running a lot of them, specifically this series. Is that just this matchup, or is there a comfortability with Jimmy and Tobias?
And my answer isn't, when I give it, it's true, and it's not meant to be disrespectful. We haven't had many point guards here that people go over on. Usually when you run a pick and roll, there's a man to screen, there's somebody there. And we have had guards that have been very good, from Michael Carter-Williams to Ben to TJ Pick'em-ish. Like, you just keep going on and on and on. And so, like, that's not their strength. Their strength is running an organization, a team, and getting to the rim. They're really good players. But to run a pick and roll, then you need to have somebody to screen. So when you say, well, why are you running more? It's because they are stuck out on Jimmy and Tobias. And it's true. Then the world makes sense. Otherwise, it really doesn't. You're screening missed. And I feel like that sort of simple answer that I give opens up a lot of other things behind it. The spacing, the rolling. I thought Joel was great on rolling tonight as an example, but the volume, the frequency is a really simple answer I give.
Hey Coach, Jason Blevins, Philly front office. To your point, it seemed like you really had Joel trying to get him rolling to maybe make Gasol move laterally, defended space. It seemed like that was an early concentration to open up some of the other parts of Joel's offense. Is that fair? Was that planned?
It is fair, and it was planned, and to think like you're just going to horse Joe at a block isn't smart. Marcus O is a defensive player of the year, and Serge Ibaka is a strong athlete. And so to move Joel around, you can roll him into the post, you can cross screen him into the post with JJ, you can just like plunk him into the post just on a simple turnout, and get him the ball in the post. It's like you can get him the ball a bunch of different ways, but to have a steady diet of just horsing Joe at a post in a very static, predictable way isn't fair to him, and I don't think it helps us. And so, to your question, the plan was to try to find different ways to get him going.
Brett D. Lynham, The Fanatic.
Hey, D.
Going back to when you had everybody, but it was still early. And I remember you were being asked to play to players' strengths. And that would change some of the things you guys had traditionally been doing. And you said you would do that, but not at the expense of what was best for the group. At what point did you find the fine line, give Jimmy the ball more?
Yeah.
You post Ben more, take the ball out of his hand. What point did you find that place that was good for all of them and best for the group?
No, it's a good question. And I can't give you third game Brooklyn or last week regular season. I can't be that specific, but you are correct. It's evolving. That is for sure. And it is a lot easier to say and sell when you win. And we have taken great pride in our defense is the thing, as I said 5 minutes ago, that interests me the most, that I think connects the dots. I feel, because normally, teams that I have coached that you wish did better, let their offense sort of dictate their move. And then if we felt pretty good, you get a chance of playing some good defense. And there's an inverted attitude that I love. We're trying to guard. We're really trying to play defense. And how about our crowd? It was spectacular. And so when we come down to the offensive end, the evolution of Jimmy with the ball, or posting Joe, or utilizing Ben, bringing JJ off screens, making sure Tobias, who can score a bunch of different ways, is used. I think it's evolving, but I can't pinpoint a time. I can tell you winning sure allows us to keep it moving forward in the direction that you just mentioned.
Two more guys.
Coach, Kai Carlin, Sixers Wire. Coming into this series, the bench was, thought to be an advantage for Toronto, but your bench has been terrific for these first couple of games. What can you say about it?
That I agree with you, and we need it. I mean, to have the boost that you learned before the game, to have Mike Scott come back, and Greg and James really has been uniquely special and required, especially in the absence of Mike, where I can get shove Tobias maybe more to a 4, and there are wing minutes to be had. And so I think our bench has been good. I think they, continue to come in and pass the ball. I like our 29 assists, 13 turnovers for us is actually not too bad, but I think, that bench has come in and given us a spark and continued on with sort of the defensive efforts that we're trying to put out.
Fred, Michael Lewandowski, VP Broadcast, Radio PA Network. You talk about not the wire to wire, but Toronto makes a run at you in the third. You get within 8, and then you open up with a 11-0 and 22-1-2 run. What's up with the way you guys closed out the game and just kind of put it away when you had to?
I mean, when Kawhi is doing what he does, and his individual offensive brilliance is daunting, haunting, pick whatever words you want to say. When you're sitting there and you got a 6'10" athlete like Ben on him, and he's busting his tail to try to do a good job, and he just makes tough shots. Then we had to change. We had to come out and blitz him. We really had to go at him. Now, the punishment at times possibly could be they start being the best, which they are, three-point shooting team in the NBA, and Kawhi ends up quarterbacking the punishment of our scrambles. But I thought that blitzing him helped, and we took off. It was sort of a launching pad for us getting out and going in open court. But when it got to that margin, and Kawhi's sort of the architect, you had to do something, and we chose to go after him and get the ball out of his hand.